still fast speaking. After this. You're open here. Or open here.
Is that good? Test?
Oh God, speak here.
Can you believe that Amanda just gave me that piece this morning? Well, I'll tell you, anybody that was at my daughter Lindsay and Roger's wedding, when I gave toast, I kind of like to talk a little bit before I toast the bride and the groom, a little bit about growing up with Amanda and some of the unique things. If I told you everything, I could be here beyond the time we have to leave. But so I kind of I wrote a couple notes over my head now, and the first one is the birth of Amanda, because you know, Debbie and I had a daughter, and then we had a son, and I said, I'm done. You know,
this guy.
Got what I want, don't need more. And so when I found out that I was having another child, I said, wow, you know, I can't even afford 2 of them. So and the really weird thing, I talked a little bit at the last wedding about birth because it kind of weirds me out. You know, Colin and Lindsay had these really long births. You know, they were like 24 hours, and you're into it for a while. You went to Lamaze, and before you know it, you think you're in an alien movie. You know, and so you know, I changed insurance carriers instead of going to the local hospital here, where I think they really believe you got to have pain before you have a child. We went up to Hopkins, and I remember talking to the doctor, and I said, you know, this childbirth thing, it takes forever. He said, don't worry, up here at Hopkins, we just give her an epidural, and you know, she's ready, and you're just going to say hike like you're getting a football. Darn if he wasn't right. And because of that, and it could be the birthing process that made Amanda the way she is. Because she has always been laid back, you know. My other kids, you know, I could get what they wanted, a little feeding or whatever. You know, they squirmed, they didn't want to be snuggled or whatever. But I think until she was like 6 years old, she would sit on the couch with me, watch a movie, you know, and she would still sound a pacifier or whatever. But Amanda, you know, it was a different experience, just mellow, and a lot of friends of hers tonight told me the same thing. She's this easygoing person. And, so, chapter 1. So we're going to move on to chapter 2. I'm going to call it the dark years. And first I got to tell you, her brother Colin, who's 2 years older than her.
This guy.
Amanda adores Colin, and she believes everything he says. And,
I never lie.
Colin was about in 8th grade, and she was in 6th grade, and all of a sudden Colin was going down a path that I didn't think.
Thanks.
Yeah. So Colin told Amanda, you know, Dad's not a very cool person. And she believed that. So we had a real tough time for a long time. And if I'm lying on anything, you can tell me this. So believe it or not, she was about 17 or 18, and I get this letter in the mail. Not a text, not a Facebook post, not an instant message, not even a phone call or an email. I get a freaking letter from her, addressed to me. She's not living with me, okay? And I get a letter with a real stamp on it. And true.
Yes, true.
And she just said, you know, I'm done with this stuff, and I want to have a great relationship with you. And so after that, it's been great. We work out together, we run together. Believe it or not, we dance together. So, part 3, Jocelyn. Ravens game at the end of December, Sunday night against the Redskins. We're up in the upper deck, freezing. She's 20 years old, so she can't buy a beer on her own. Oh yeah, she was 19, that was even worse. I said, you want a beer? And she said, no, I don't think so. And I said, really? She said, yeah, I'm going to have a baby. And, yes. And I was trying to keep this clean tonight, but I just said, holy shit. So I was really weirded out. You know, babies are great, and you know, the birth of Jocelyn was the great thing of my life. But I remember going up to my mom and dad's up in Pennsylvania to tell them the great news. And my at the time 82-year-old mother, who's far to the right and a devout Catholic, I'm afraid to tell her. I'm afraid to make this appointment. And but I go up and tell her, and after the initial shock, I said, you know, Mom, I'm really weirded out about this. And she said, Jay, get with the program. That's what kids do these days. So part 4 in the end, after the toast, and that's Vince. This guy, I mean, she's hard at work. She's got a great job. She raising a child, whatever, and all of a sudden she tells me, "Man, this guy I'm kind of interested in. Would you mind if I go to your beach house in Delaware for a weekend?" I said, "Sure." I never even met Vince, so and I met him about a week later, and very polite young man, as you know, and. He said, "Thank you for letting us stay at your place. I fixed your faucet." People don't like a guy like that. I've been doing many jobs since then. There's more to come. So anyway, great relationship. We've really enjoyed being with Vince and Bernadette and Paul. In fact, thank you for raising such a great son. So that I have to borrow a glass so I can just make a nice toast to a successful life. Maybe a couple more bambinos. All worked out perfectly in a straight blended family. Thanks.